Hello, 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 gang. If I could invite some of our guests to come on in from the atrium, find a seat. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Mike Finnegan, and this is year 14, the 14th annual Spirit of Leadership. So we are thrilled, absolutely thrilled to have all of you here to join us tonight. And for some of you, your leadership journey actually started right here in Lead 212, Introduction to Leadership Concepts. So we're welcome that you can come back now with an adult beverage. So as we think about seeing so many familiar faces here back in town hall, I wanted to remind us that we're all here tonight because we have a shared purpose to reconnect with one another, to reunite in this place. Whether or not we came back to Kansas, back to Manhattan, and or back to Staley School, the building where many of us, this journey began. And to re-energize around our shared commitment to practice leadership in our diverse and changing world. But I'd like to take a moment just to acknowledge who all is here in the room this evening to have some fun with us. And so if you're able, you could go ahead and stand up, or you could wave a hand, and or because I'm a former Yell leader, you can go ahead and make some noise. But I'd like you to stand up, wave a hand if you're a leadership studies minor alum. Make some noise. Gang, this is our alumni group who's here with us tonight. Now, we also have multiple academic programs, and so make some noise if you're a global food systems leadership alumni. Mary Kay with the drum roll. And if by chance you're an alumni of our leadership nonprofit. Heck yeah, absolutely. And if you traveled out of state today to be here, make some noise. Let us see where our out-of-staters are. Heck yes. Welcome, gang. Welcome back to Kansas. Welcome back to Manhattan. We love it that you're here. And if this is your first ever Spirit of Leadership Studies, go ahead and make some noise. Spirit of Leadership. First time attendees. Got it. Now, I'm going to go off script here a little bit. Being tolerant, okay, it's good. But we also have this thing called a PhD in leadership and communication. So if you are a lead com alum or current student, my gosh, make some noise. And just by chance, if you didn't make it down to Aggieville, to Taco Lucha, and or So Long Saloon, who came here tonight because you heard that there was raspberry chipotle bean dip? So now it's kind of fun to test the longevity of the energy, the enthusiasm, and the work that's been done here at the Staley School. So make some noise if you've been part of the Staley School for the better half of a year. Yeah, make some noise if you've been part of the Staley School for 5 years. 5+ years. Yep. Okay. If you've been with it for 10 years. 15 years. Reach the Mary Kay Seafer staff. 20+ years with Staley School of Leadership Studies. And I think in true fashion, right? Many of you know that lots of times this is a spirit of leadership study. So I'm a former Yale leader, and so we did spirit fingers, jazz hands, and leadership, right, Ed? It's all about mobilizing people into action. So let's see if we can mobilize the 100+ people who are here tonight to make but one sound. So go ahead and get your clapping hands out. Spirit fingers, jazz hands on me, and we're gonna say happy spirit. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy spirit. Okay, that was the model. That was the back. You go, spirit fingers. 1, 2, 3. Happy spirit. That was Chris. I think Avery Johnson's going to be excited about how we break that huddle tomorrow. But heck yes. So one more shout out. If indeed you happen to be the new K-State provost, make some noise. I tell you what, Jesse Perez Mendez, thank you for being here to celebrate your first annual Spirit of Leadership. And so many of you might know that Staley School of Leadership, we're all about change, even though it was once said that the only person who likes change is a baby in a wet diaper. But yet change is necessary for the vibrance of our system. As we evolve, as we gain new perspectives, skills, and the resilience needed to navigate challenges. This adaptability not only benefits the Staley School team and the K-State campus, but it also inevitably works through the systems to impact the common good. By growing, we can contribute to innovative ideas, to making progress, and the leadership that helps our communities, our workplaces, and societies thrive rapidly in this diverse and changing world. So with that, I would like to introduce two good friends, two good colleagues, Kate Long and Colleen Helmers, because they are going to go ahead and kick us off and reflect back on what it is that we've been up to over the last year or so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kate.
So people are important, perhaps the most important, and we have a lot of new team members. Dr. Craig Schroeder. Craig, welcome, our new Executive Director for Applied Learning. I may recommend we hold our applause till the end, because there are several. Amy Pearson, our building and events assistant. She's been hustling around and she's hustling outside right now, but Amy, welcome. Dr. Susan Rensing. Susan, missed you. Okay, Susan is here and she's our Associate Director for Scholar Development and Undergraduate Research. Colette Pachenka, she has managed all of the bean dip in front of you tonight. She is wonderful and she's our Academic Program Specialist. Dr. Drew Pearl, Drew in the back, welcome. Our new Assistant Professor for Leadership and Community-Based Learning. And Jeff Storms. Jeff, are you in the house tonight? Jeff, our Academic Programs Coordinator for McNair Scholars. We are so glad to have new faces and new minds helping us to achieve the work of Leadership Studies, our academic programs, the University Honors Program, the Leadership and the Service programs like Hands-On K-State and Snyder Leadership Legacy Fellows, and more, the work of undergraduate research, McNair Scholars, nationally competitive scholarships, and the Next Gen K-State Strategic Plan Applied Learning Initiative, which the Staley School is charged with leading for our university. And we are pretty darn excited about it, if I do say so myself.
If you haven't done it in a while, please be sure to take a building tour with our student ambassadors who are sitting with us in the back row. You can give us a wave. Thank you for being here. They deserve applause for sure. We have new spaces for our new faces. And just this year, we started thinking about updating our cafe space, formerly occupied by Radina's. It's a bittersweet change, but an opportunity to do what the Staley School does best. We were looking to evaluate, assess, and adapt. We took in a lot of community feedback, and while we're planning to continually adjust as time goes on, we're happy to announce a new concept. In partnership with K-State Housing and Dining, a local farm, and a small business, We will very soon open a cafe with a familiar name, Full Well.
So next time you're on campus, come on back by, enjoy a cup of joe or a smoothie bowl with us here in the building. And through all this growth, we have the opportunity to examine who we are and our purpose. To align with the university's Next Gen strategic plan, we developed a new vision statement for the school to reflect wholly what we do. And this new statement gives us direction, it gives us purpose, and it centers us. If we achieve what we hope to be achieving, our diverse and changing world thrives because people and communities are prepared to learn, serve, and lead change.
This vision is only made possible by the work we put into action here at the Staley School, but also across campus, across Kansas, across our nation and our world. And much of this is because of you and your commitment to lead change within systems. Next, Dr. Kayhan Shams, Research Assistant Professor and Assistant Director of the Third Floor Research, will share more about how our faculty are leading change through their scholarly work and advancing the fields of leadership studies and community engagement.
All right, the first thing that I should make sure is that I have my notes because I might be reading something different for you. All right, so I believe all of us agree that leadership development is not just picking a theory or book and teaching it. It also involves practice, research, impact assessment to ensure that our interventions are actually effective. Our faculty and grad students are hustling. They are teaching, grading, meeting with the students, advising the student groups, and also they are making significant strides on three main areas for the school's research focus. Leading change, building civic capacity, and advancing learning and development. Would all of our faculty and grad students who have written a chapter, published an article or paper, a book, or presented at a conference, or completed a dissertation, or any other types of scholarly work over the past year, please stand up or wave hands to be recognized? Wonderful. Wonderful. Thanks. Now I'm going to give you a few examples, just a few examples of several scholarly works that have been done over the past year in this building to give you some ideas about our research projects. I'm going to start with Dr. Andy Vifold. Dr. Andy Vifold was the editor and author of 2 books on leadership coaching published this year. These books help close the, yes. These books help close the gap between theory and practice in coaching and offer real tools to help individuals and groups navigate complex environments and their own leadership challenges. Dr. Drew Pearl directs a national research lab for the American Council on Education focused on ways colleges and universities engage with communities. This allows best practices to be shared across the country, ensuring ethical partnerships and meaningful learning. Dr. Kerry Priest is lead editor of a special issue of a journal that helps educators and developers better integrate system thinking and practice into leadership learning to create meaningful change. Her leadership and expertise in the field of leadership studies is exceptional and respected by many. I've got to tell you this, there is no conference, no leadership conference that you would go and you would introduce yourself as a case stater and people won't bring up her name. Definitely Dr. Kerry Priest. Dr. Tim Steffensmeyer and I are developing a 5-year research agenda for the Third Floor Research Program, a partnership between the Staley School and Kansas Leadership Center. After 6 years of studying the needs for leadership development in communities and organizations and measuring impact on individuals' behaviors and mindsets, we are now working to measure impact of leadership trainings at the group and collective levels, developing methods to better understand how system thinking emerges in organizational context. These projects reflect individual scholarship and also demonstrate how our faculty bring together scholars, practitioners, and stakeholders within and across institutions. Together, they co-create knowledge, measure impact, and inform how people, organizations, and communities engage and thrive. And they are only a few examples of the research, writing, and engaged scholarship our faculty and grad students are doing. I encourage you tonight at the reception, find them and ask them what they are working on. Next, I would like to introduce two exceptional undergrad students who have been involved in a very impactful work over the past year. Andrew Lee is a sophomore in political science with a minor in leadership studies and a secondary major in global food system leadership. And Jenna Wallace, a senior studying agricultural economics and a secondary major in global food system leadership as well. Please welcome them to the podium.
I apologize for my attire today. I was just at band rehearsal, so I hope to see you all there at the game tomorrow as we take down the Sun Devils. All right. As a first generation student, I've always been deeply passionate about policy issues, especially addressing food insecurity. My time at the Staley School of Leadership has been nothing short of transformative. Through my involvement with food security scholars and my pursuit of a leadership studies minor, I have developed a deeper understanding of systems of inequity, my own leadership abilities, and how to strategically drive meaningful change. Diving in further, I've been with Food Security Scholars for about 2 years now. First as a scholar and now as the Director of Stakeholders and Public Relations on our Student Advisory Leadership Team, also known as SALT. During my first year with Food Security Scholars, I learned more about food security than I ever imagined or ever bargained for. I toured community facilities, connected with stakeholders, and explored my own role in the global food system. These experiences opened my eyes to the interconnectedness of food security with fields like agronomy, psychology, and even nutrition. Now, as part of the SALT team, I have the privilege of sharing these transformative experiences with other K-Staters and build tomorrow's changemakers. My personal goal for this year is to broaden the perspective of our scholars, helping them understand how their unique disciplines intersect with the larger food system. Everyone has a role to play and a responsibility to ensure that our food systems serve everybody equitably. Looking back, I wouldn't be the same person standing here today without food security scholars in the Staley School of Leadership. Through these programs, I've been able to take the theoretical tools and frameworks that we study in class and apply them in the real world context, seeing their impacts in real time. These experiences have deepened my understanding of systemic challenges, fueled my passion for advocacy, and solidified my commitment to a career in public service for all Kansans.
This summer, I had the privilege of participating in my second International Service Teams experience. My teammates and I partnered with a nonprofit in Guatemala called Tejiendo Futuros to provide some temporary support during a busy season of their school year. Over the course of 3 weeks, we worked to support their mission in various ways. Some of my teammates taught in the classroom, others developed business and social media plans, and I, along with my friends Jahida and Pedro, worked alongside their agricultural manager, Eric. We helped design the current garden, surveyed newly gifted land, and taught workshops on growing food and understanding soil health. This hands-on experience was invaluable in preparing us for our future careers. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time in the classroom at K-State, but my work in international service teams has reinforced a very important lesson. Learning just isn't confined to the classroom. The experiences we gain through extracurricular activities like IST don't just contribute to our education, they equip us to thrive in real-world situations. More importantly, they set us apart as leaders who are willing to step outside of our comfort zones and create meaningful, lasting partnerships with leaders from all over the world. The Staley School of Leadership is shaping young people like myself to be ethical, proactive, and well-prepared, equipped to face any challenge, no matter how far-reaching. I'd now like to invite Dr. Trish Scott to the front to share exciting news about our academic programs.
You're gonna have to clap louder for Jenna and Andrew. They're pretty darn good. So wow, I mean, do our students ever cease to amaze you? They never cease to amaze us, the faculty, the staff, the community here at Staley. Exceptional work. And I'm really excited to share some more work that's come from this kind of thinking and learning. So they don't, and we know there are more opportunities out there to engage with even more incredible humans. So this coming fall, a new graduate program, a graduate certificate, in fact, is coming online. When I say online, I mean the internet, the World Wide Web, right? You know about this. Actually, it'll be available. So we'll start offering it online as a fully online certificate in leading change. The program will equip learners with skills to master systems thinking, to tackle leadership challenges head on. Students are everywhere around the world, working in all sorts of different industries. Some are right out of school, others are professionals looking to skill up after 10, 20, or 15, well, that would go backwards, 10, 20, 15, 25 years in their work. A fully online certificate is gonna meet their needs where they are, or maybe, I don't know, maybe some of you, maybe where you are. Maybe this certificate is perfect for you right now, exactly where you are, as you think about what kind of change you might want to make, what kind of new skills you might need, and what kind of mental models you want to take on when you think about the change that your industry, that your community, that your family might be counting on you to make. So a fully online certificate won't just meet you or them, whoever they are, where they are, but it also is going to allow for us to deliver leadership education and think about leadership development that impacts our communities, our workplaces, our systems, and ultimately, hopefully, it would be our goal, the common good. Since 1997, no matter the mission or the vision, no matter the people, the partners, the donors, students, the faculty, and the staff, no matter who they've been, I am certain that one thing has always been true. We're making a difference for the better of our students, but more importantly, for the better of our communities and for our world. We're impacting positive change, and we're helping shape people who will also make a difference for the better, especially in times of uncertainty, of divisiveness, and of challenge. So we sat in this room around the same time last year for this event, because some of you have been here before. And those of you who are here, you're going to remember, we invite everyone to engage. Engage with the people around them, just like how we engage students when they come in this classroom. And we're going to do that to you as well. All right, so get ready. Anybody that doesn't want to, just shake it out right now. Get ready. This is your time to shine. So take a moment, turn to your neighbor, pick carefully which neighbor you turn to, and ask one another, what was something exciting that happened to you this past year? Or maybe what challenge did you overcome? What change for the common good were you a part of making? You've got just a minute, so go ahead and share, and then I might ask a few people to brag on their neighbors. All right, go. All right, I'm gonna be asking for one person to brag. So wrap up your discussion with your neighbors. Because man, oh man, 1 minute sure does go quickly. I mean, just notice, if you ever wonder why facilities are so important, do you see our dean turn around to talk to the people behind her and how easy it is? Because there's chairs that allow you to do it. I saw people spinning. This makes a difference for learning, believe me. Okay, so who wants to brag? Who's got a neighbor that really is just, they're doing cool stuff, something awesome? Yeah, what you got, Maggie?
Cassandra, and she works for the Department of Defense and is a mental health clinician, and she's really proud of herself for earning that position and working really hard in that role to make it.
Cassandra. Now, if I recall, Dr. Olivia Collins and Dr. Chansley would be particularly proud to know that a nonprofit grad is working at Department of Defense doing this kind of work. Well done, Cassandra. Let's hear one more shout out. Who else has something great happening? Yes, please, Emmanuel. Dr. Sapasi. Dr. Sapasi, PhD completed. Dean Toller.
Mary Jo Myers, our former First Lady, is doing really wonderful work, continues to do wonderful work with her group in Afghanistan. And they've expanded their tailoring, work with young girls, embroidery and tailoring to now the computers.
Wow. Wow. So for our guests online, Mary Jo Myers has been working with tailoring in Afghanistan, teaching women and participating in educational programming. And they've moved from tailoring and skill development to computer work. Well done. So you wrapped up your conversations, and I'm going to guess just based on those first 3 report outs that there's about 97 more that are just as interesting, as powerful, and are going to be as meaningful for leading change. Remember, that's what I'm talking about, and the common good, right? Thank you for sharing. So I'd like to introduce the next speaker, and I'm going to give you a little warning because I'm the warm-up act for her. She's going to facilitate a teach piece, which I think you'll really enjoy. Dr. Mary Kay Seifers directs our Global Food Systems Leadership Secondary Major. So, and she's going to give us just a bite. Yep. Of a lesson she regularly teaches that really impacts our students, leaving them hungry for more. All right, Dr. Seifers, come on down.
Thank you very much, Trish. Before I start, Mary, I have to tell you something. You know, we're up here bragging on Andrew and Jenna, but about 24 hours ago, Andrew put the biggest hole in a wall since this building was built. So, yeah. Yeah, so they're not always great, but we worked out a plan. We were going to say the bunch of tri-deltas were in the building running around. So, but anyway, sorry, Andrew. So as you've heard, we strive to equip students here to help build strong communities. And we started the night to see who was in the room. And hopefully that helped many of you think about how meaningful this place has been for so many of us and for a variety of reasons. But, you know, all of us here are part of a system, right? We might say we're part of the Staley school system. We're part of K-State and other systems. So as Dr. Gott said, I'm going to spend a little time being your teacher tonight. So welcome to class, everybody. All right, so first I'll ask, Carl, did you do the reading for today? Governor Carlin, there is going to be a test. This will be on the test, okay? All right. So one of the things I want to talk about really is this idea of systems and systems thinking. And they gave me 5 minutes. So I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about systems in 5 minutes. Okay. So get ready. On the slide up here, if you think about what's in the blue or the purple, a lot of times we make decisions or have challenges in our lives that we try to solve just kind of linearly, right? Kind of go A, B, C, D. Yeah. And for the most of the time, when we're thinking about big, complex challenges or even small challenges, right? Sort of the linear thinking may not serve us well all the time. Now, it isn't an either or, right? It's both. We do both of these. And so I just want you to think a minute, maybe about a system, maybe your family. Okay. So the system of your family, is it more represented on the left or the right? Why'd you laugh? I don't get it. I don't know, Ed, you're saying your family's on the left? Oh, okay. Yeah. And now if anybody tells me your family system is more on the left, I'm going to say, I think you lie about other things too. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. So really the challenges we have are more represented in the yellow than they are the purple. So we're going to do a little activity. And I have recruited some of those talented students. Andrew, please don't destroy anything when we do this activity, okay? So if I can have my volunteers that I already worked with come on up. We're going to do a little activity. And Mary, we're probably going to have you join in, and I'm just kidding. I wish you could have seen her face. Yes. Yeah, so we're going to have our students here maybe call, I don't know if Colleen knows what she's doing. Well, I can tell you, I've known Jess for 2 years and I would never go where she goes. Okay, so we're going to do a little activity about systems. Now, this is part of a 16-week course, a secondary major, and we're going to do one snippet, okay? Just one little snippet of sort of how we get students to think about systems. So as we know, the global food system, so Jenna is war and, I was going to say war and peace. No, war and conflict. All right. So we know conflict impacts the food system. Mr. Wallrecker is shocks, such as earthquakes or COVID. Yeah, earthquake is one went through the building last night. Jess is climate change and how climate change impacts our food system. Colleen is nutrition. And she wanted nutrition because, yes, and she's a type 1 diabetic, so it makes sense. Yes. And Adelaide from Salina, Kansas, also the 39th Truman Scholar at Kansas State University. Now, Adelaide also works for me, and she told me if I embarrass her, she's quitting the job. So are you coming to work next week? So Adelaide represents water. So the way we get started in systems is that systems arrange themselves, right, into sort of a sense of what we call homeostasis. Like they like to create their structure. And as we know, we don't like that structure to change, right? And so one of the lessons we start to develop is that when one part of the system changes, it impacts other parts of the system. So when we had the Russian invasion of Ukraine, where Ukraine produces a lot of agriculture products for the world, what we say is that war and conflict, right? That we're going to move war and conflict over here. And so what happens is the system tries to get back in some sort of homeostasis, right? So system, what are you going to do? Move this way, maintain your homeostasis. It's going to try to get back. Sometimes they don't know where they're going. Sometimes they do. So the idea is that when you have a change in one part of the system, it impacts other parts of the system. For instance, if we had COVID come through our food system and COVID come walk towards me, now the rest of the part of the system has to adjust eventually to get back into homeostasis. So how we teach this in global food systems is that one part of the system is going to impact other parts of the system. Now, they don't want me to do this, but I'm going to ask Jess, what did you learn from this activity?
She likes to pick on me. I have learned from both teaching and participating in this exercise that it's important for us to recognize how every single part of the system impacts another piece, right? You might think that war and conflict has nothing to do with climate change, but it has everything to do with it. And as we see war and conflict happening around the world, us here in Manhattan, Kansas are impacted.
Well done. Wasn't she good? Give her a little applause. All right, I thank you. Thank you very much to our students. Can you go to the next slide, please? So if we go back to linear thinking isn't bad, right? It's really good. And we do this a lot of the times. But we realize, if you think about your family system, right? Again, how many of you try to control the chaos and create order? What are you laughing about, Kevin? Is that working in your family? No, right? But a lot of times we try to take control of that chaos, right? And it just does not work. And so the idea is that in those linear systems, or those complex systems, we can't apply this type of linear thinking. Can you go to my next slide, please? So Governor Carlin kind of introduced me to Peter Senge and the systems philosophy several years ago. And I love this idea about systems, right? It's about interconnectedness. It's about our relationships. So if we think about us in this room tonight, this system, think about how we're going to interact with one another, right? We're going to influence every person in this room. Anybody? Russ, I'll ask you. I'm going to put you on the spot. This cartoon over here on the left, I'm sure glad the hole isn't on our end of the boat. You experienced that before? A few times today. Okay, today. Yeah, and then the other cartoon, we're all lined up in the simple but wrong answers, where the complexity, the systems thinking just takes a little bit longer, right? So I'm going to put another student on the spot because I'm a teacher. That's what I do. Did you know I was coming for you? They're both Global Food Systems alumni. What are you taking away from this?
Yeah, I'm taking away that everything is interconnected, and I think it's important that while we think about issues, we remember that our actions also happen within a system, and that what we say and how we act around other people has an impact on them too.
She couldn't even talk before she took Global Food Systems. Yes. Yeah. So, hey, I just want to take that for just a little minute. Again, that's a snippet of what we do in Global Food Systems leadership. So thank you for playing along. So what I'd like for you to do is now, Carl, are you ready for the quiz? Sure. All right. If somebody could ask Carl a question. Now, what I want you to do now is turn to your neighbor and think about your systems that you're in and the complexity of some of those systems. And are you sort of in a systems thinking perspective, or do you sort of maybe sometimes take the lower hanging fruit of linking or thinking linearly when it might need some complexity to it? So take a minute, turn to your neighbor, chat about that. Go. Okay. All right. So I hope you'll take that little snippet home. I hope you'll take that little snippet home and continue to think about this. So thank you for playing along. We're all part of many systems. Leadership is required to move these systems forward to make progress. And as many people up here have said, we want a more just and equitable system to work in for our community. And with that said, it is my pleasure to introduce the boss, Dean Mary Toller. Come on up.
The boss. So we're moving into the final part, the heart of our program. And it is my honor on behalf of the Staley School of Leadership to share with you the Michael C. Holen Leader in Residence Award. This award honors the legacy of Dean Mike Holen and recognizes that leadership is a process and aimed toward the common good. This is the second year that we are missing Dean Holen in the room after his passing in 2022. Mike served as Dean of the College of Education for over 2 decades and was a champion for leadership education throughout his career and life. Mike was invested in his students. He invested in his students, his faculty, and colleagues. He took time to understand goals and motivations, consider options, weigh the pros and the cons. I could always count on Mike for thoughtful analysis, a couple of very pointed questions, and very straight talk. With, of course, a good amount of some past exploits thrown in, which for me made it all stick because, I love a good story. So Mike invested not only in people, but in ideas and systems too. His deep-seated commitment to access to the social and economic mobility higher education offers, his commitment also to diversity and equity. He invested in these commitments through his work as an administrator. He understood and made the absolute most of the opportunities he had to advance ideas, share practices, and manage, work, or change systems to expand access and deepen impact. We're grateful for the investments he made and modeled and aim to carry them forward through this award. The Michael C. Holen Leader in Residence Award honors outstanding individuals who are exercising leadership in a range of organizational, professional, and civic settings. Recipients come to campus and share experiences and engage in rich and challenging conversations with our students and the K-State community. This award honors the following principles and commitments: service to the common good, collaboration, leadership as a process, and finally, that successful leaders engage in leadership with those of many backgrounds and cultures. So I would like to invite Jess Ramirez and Dr. Tamara Bauer to the podium to introduce our 2024 Michael C. Holen Leaders in Residence. This is some sisterhood right here. All right.
All right. It is my distinct honor to recognize this year's Michael C. Holen Leaders in Residence, Mary and Carl Ice. Proud K-State alumni, Carl and Mary have made a lasting impact through their leadership and philanthropy, supporting students, faculty, programs, and our campus facilities. I'm sure many of us have seen and benefited from the generosity and engagement that they have provided throughout our Wildcat community. From supporting the colleges of engineering to health and human sciences to K-State athletics, Cat's Cupboard, I personally am forever grateful for the opportunity you all created to help make Cat's Cupboard a reality. You all have engaged in so many ways to help support this university. To me, their long-term dedication is a true reflection of their values in action. How they invest in people and the promise of the opportunities that education can provide. They see the larger system of education, and they work so intentionally to elevate and support it in strategic ways. Are we so proud that they are K-State alumni? Woo! I think it's safe to say that they are a power couple, and I'm going to say a purple power couple and a purple power family, right? All of the folks that make up the ICE family. Carl, a 1979 graduate in industrial engineering, built a distinguished career culminating as president and CEO of BNSF Railway and currently serves as the chair for the Kansas Board of Regents. Mary, a 1980 graduate of the College of Health and Human Sciences and a master in education, has been and continues to be an educator, a public servant, sharing her talents with so many organizations and nonprofit boards. You both consistently demonstrate your commitment to bettering communities. Your involvement and engagement with K-State and the state of Kansas makes a significant difference. As part of the Leader in Residence program, Mary and Carl joined us on campus last spring and spoke with many students who were involved in our nonprofit and global food systems leadership courses, our senior capstone course in the Leadership Studies certificate, and spoke with students engaged in food security, both within the Staley School and also across campus. I'll now turn it over to Jess to tell more about this special time.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be able to share a story about both Carl and Mary. Nothing too crazy, I promise. So Carl and Mary came to visit the Staley School earlier this year. And many of you probably don't know this, but Carl actually started with BNSF in 1979 as an intern with BNSF. Okay, talk about applied learning. And that was something that Carl shared with my students in global food systems leadership. And when we were talking about them coming to visit us and kind of debriefing after, that's something that really stuck with my students. That internship in 1979 put Carl on a path that none of us could have predicted, one that led to him becoming an integral part of a system that keeps goods moving across Kansas, across the country, and even across the world. What really resonated with us was Carl's story of growth. He showed my students that no matter where you start, whether you're an intern or an industry expert, each step you take is part of something bigger. Carl didn't just work a job, he helped shape a system that many of us rely on, arguably all of us, right, Carl? All of us, yes. That is leadership in action, folks. So thank you, Carl, for showing us dedication, how dedication at every single step can create lasting and impactful change. Now I'd like to share a story about my dearest friend, Mary. And Mary is also an incredible, incredible leader. Mary started her career as an educator and later on went on to still educate people, but now in the service of the people and communities she cares most about. Mary is a force of change. And I know this personally, whether it's serving alongside her on the Cats Covered Advisory Board or watching her speak to my class about food insecurity. Mary truly embodies what it means to lead with courage and, most importantly, empathy. One thing I haven't shared with you, Mary, is that after you visited my class, one of my students made a comment to me that really stuck out. And they said, "But she's Mary Ice. She doesn't have to care about student food insecurity." And I just smiled and I said, yeah, she is Mary Ice, and she doesn't have to care about food insecurity, but she does with so much heart and passion and empathy. So thank you, Mary and Carl, for continuously contributing to something greater than yourself, and for being part of systems that impact each and every one of us every single day. At this time, I'd like to ask Carl, and Mary, sorry, I'm trying not to get choked up. Carl and Mary to please come up to the front of the room to be recognized.
We've been invited to say a few words this evening, and I would just like to start by saying thank you to all of you who are here and supporting the Staley School of Leadership. It's such an amazing opportunity for you to have as students and for those of you who work here with the students. This wasn't something that was available when we were in school here at K-State, and it's always exciting to see new programs come along that are really going to make a difference in people's lives. I didn't plan on crying this evening, but two of my friends who were talking a few minutes ago made me a little bit teary-eyed. I think one of the things that is important to share with you is the excitement I feel when I see K-State students, not only here, but when they go on further in their careers. I have two other good friends here in the audience who are also health and human science graduates, Sonia and Sarah, and we've gotten to know each other through Cat's Cupboard, believe it or not. And there are two friendships that I cherish, as I do many others in the room. So what I appreciate most about this opportunity tonight is letting you know what a difference these students make. They are incredible people. We have so many wonderful students at K-State, and we need to do what we can to continue to encourage them and make the path for them easier. Carl had a tremendous career, but it really was based in the things that he learned growing up and what he learned and was able to apply from his time at K-State. My career path was a little different. I was a CEO of a household and not a CEO of a company, and I'm very proud to say, if I could embarrass my family tonight, I'll start with my daughter, Karen. Stand up, wave your hand, do something. Several of them know who you are. My niece, Melanie, my daughter-in-law, Megan, and my son, Marshall. And again, good examples of people who have a heart and make a difference in the world. So I would just ask, as we go out into our jobs, our communities, just please remember to encourage young people and encourage one another, because the work isn't always easy, but there are so many things that we can accomplish when we work together. Chaos or linear. Okay, very good. Mary Kay's paying attention. She got it.
Okay, well, that was Mary Ice. She has always did a wonderful job capturing the important things to say, and perhaps I'd be well served to just say, I agree with you, Mary. I have nothing to add, but I don't think it's appropriate for me not to say anything. So I'm going to add just a little bit. So first, thanks for the beautiful remarks everybody's made. I too almost cried. I almost said she cares because she is Mary Ice. Sometimes it's good to be first, sometimes it's good to be last. So I think what I would want to say is that we're deeply moved by this recognition, and that's for several reasons. I'd call out just a few. I mean, first, this was fun tonight. It's high energy, which is really appropriate since leadership is about creating energy. And so it's great to see that. But that really takes us to the second point. And Mary and I deeply believe in the importance of leadership. Leaders matter, leaders count, leaders make a difference. They help people reach things they wouldn't reach without them helping put those people in a position to succeed. And so we think you're supposed to spend time working on leadership and how you develop your characteristics and all the ways that you can grow. But I talked a little bit about the process of leadership. So we think that's very much the case and something we all should commit to. And so as part of that, then we're incredibly impressed that the university we love so much has the Staley School and on all the great things that the Staley School does that helps teach us about the leadership's not about you. No, you do these set of things. I do these 2 or 3 things, so I'm a great leader, but rather the impact you have. and what that means then that happens to the people around you. That really takes me then to the third reason that that this means a lot to us, and that's because we're recognized together. So we've been a team a really long time, Mary and me. And so when you think about impact, then that impact can come leadership in lots of different ways. And it can come with lots of different skills and characteristics and the way you relate to people. So you're doing it together, then hopefully we're able to demonstrate how strengths and attributes can fit together in a way that has impacts that's even greater and larger and the right thing at the right moment. And then the last thing I'd say is, this got mentioned already several times, but we got a chance to do a lot of things in our couple of days. We had to go to classes, all of which got named, but the nonprofit leadership, the capstone, the global food systems. We got to meet with faculty and leadership and student leadership. I think I'm supposed to call that SALT, right? And students. And all those things were great. They were energizing, like Mary talked about. And that's one of the beautiful things about life is we participate in a way to try to help some other people have a chance to grow and learn and develop. But guess what? We got to too. So thank you all for that. So again, I just wrap up by saying it's been a wonderful evening. We very much appreciate the recognition. We really appreciate you all inviting us to spend the evening with you and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Mary and Carl, and your family for being here as well. And congratulations. My name is Delshay Roberts, and I have the job of closing us out and getting us closer to food and drinks. So I will not be long. And wow, this has been such an amazing night, filled with so much great energy, to see what the Staley School's been up to locally and at global levels, and to get to know one another through community and celebration. We have reconnected, reunited, and re-energized around our shared passions for leadership practice. Okay, so here's what's next, my friends. So we're gonna move, not now, but in a second. We're gonna move into our lobby for a reception with hors d'oeuvres, drinks, and fellowship. We have building tours, a photo booth, and plenty of Staley School ambassadors who are ready to tell their story about their K-State experience. We'll be closing at 9 p.m. Just be sure before you leave to pick up your parting gift at the table by the entrance. And remember, your goal as you go back into your daily life is this: reconnect with something important to you, reunite with someone important to you, and recommit to making progress on important challenges within the communities and systems you care about. We are so happy to see you all here tonight. Let's now celebrate the 14th Annual Spirit of Leadership. Thank you all so much.